product has to stay the same, but if we can do it in a better way, then that's kind of the Concept Blue idea. Dikke bakken, jongen. It's Dutch for big waves. Pro tip. So today we have quite a bunch of gear. We got a twin tip and a directional, and we are going to test and try out the brand new Evo SLS Concept Blue. Brand new in the bag. The Evo has been a major popular kite in the Duotone range, and the Evo SLS has also been the most successful kite of the whole SLS range, which stands for Strong, Light, Superior. The Evo is basically a kite that does it all. Like, it's very user-friendly, it's good for beginners. If you want to wave ride, it's good. If you want to jump a little bit, it's good. If you want to get into kiting, ride upwind, ride downwind, the Evo will be your best friend. And on top of that, we built the Evo SLS, which is kind of the more sportier version. So it's like kind of a sports car version. And we're gonna pump it up, see what it looks like, see what it feels like, and see what it flies like. Okay, so this is a beautiful white kite, hence the Concept Blue concept, where there's no water and other energies used in the dyeing into color of the material. So it looks white, but it's actually undyed. And we have the Evo Original and the Evo SLS that come in the Concept Blue way, also still in the original colorway. There's no difference except for the color of it and the thought of mind that you're making the world a better place and doing the best to keep our oceans blue. Above that is still the Evo D-Lab, which is Duotone Laboratory. It's very expensive, very, very good. Kind of the best kite that we can make, which is kind of like the Formula 1 car. And this is the Evo SLS and the Evo SLS Concept Blue. It's kind of like a sports car version. See this as like a Porsche hybrid, I guess, if you compare it to cars. It's this little extra you're trying to do good for the world. There's not much color onto the kite, just to try and stop that, but there is some color given. Also the SLS, the Penta TX material is undyed, so it's kind of very pale. One other fun thing over the whole kite is stitched. Like pretty much every kite is stitching all the materials together. The stitching flows over from color to color, so that's a fun little color detail that's in the kite. The kite is not made out of soya beans or whatever, so it is still a kite that comes from Sri Lanka, gets shipped over the world, but it's done in a very responsible way and as good as we at Duotone can kind of do it. It's not good for the environment, but it's like the best we can do so far right now in a proper way without upping the price like crazy or having the material go to shit in the sun. So this is kind of the best way we can do it right now for this environment, and we can keep our oceans blue. Hence the Concept Blue, just like the sky. Okay, so there's 3 different trimming options on the back lines. There's soft setting, hard setting, and the medium setting in the middle. Soft setting is softer bar pressure, softer sting pressure. Will make the kite a little bit more faster and especially agile in the turns. You have the hard setting, will make the turning radius a little bit bigger, will make the bar pressure a little bit harder, and the steering pressure a little bit tougher. So that's what men usually tend to like a little bit more. Sometimes younger kids or women like the soft setting a little bit more, so you can figure it out yourself. Right now I have a twin tip and a surfboard with me, so then the medium setting is like the best of both worlds, and we can go try that out. Some people are like, oh, why did you make the bars Concept Blue too? That's just because we want to keep it at the same price point. There's a lot of chemicals that involve producing the lines and the coating to protect the lines and make it a good product. So that's something that we're always working on, but it's not just quite here yet. For now, we just do the things that we can do, make them as good as possible, and just focus on everybody having a good time while keeping this all in the back of our minds. So the bar is not Concept Blue, the wetsuit aren't Concept Blue, it's just some kites and boards. The product has to stay the same, but if we can do it in a better way, then that's kind of the Concept Blue idea. It's not really that windy today. The water's very flat, there's some waves coming in. It's, I'd say, about 18 to 22 knots. There's a big foil kite in the back. There's people riding 11 meters and 10s and 12. It's not that strong, but easily rideable. Definitely feels nice and comfortable on the beach. Like if you sheet out, the power is gone immediately. It feels very nice, smooth and predictable. So yeah, let's go try it out. Okay, welcome back. This is the second day of our video shooting. Yesterday it got windy, but also not really. We were just riding and it was very average. So today, hopefully it picks up a little bit more. The ocean is still nice and blue. As you can see, it's not that windy, but at least there's a little bit of waves and some fun. I hope he's having fun. So for the new 2025 Evo SLS, in this case the Concept Blue, it's been very redefined. Last year the kite was completely redesigned from scratch to where it got. And so for this year it's kind of the same. It looks very similar, but there's a few things that are very different towards the kite, and even the small changes make a big difference. One big difference is the new bridle system. We have a 6-point bridle system that goes all the way to pretty much the first segments of the kite in the center, which gives a lot of feel when you're turning, and it makes the turning radius nice and round. Some other things that have changed is that the canopy tension changed, so it's very smooth and redefined, and after a year of riding the previous kite, they now know a lot more of how the kite will shape along in the air and how to redefine that. One of the things is in the tips, the tension has been improved, so I believe there's a little bit more tension, which lessens the flutter a little bit. And depending on the size, the battens are different lengths. So we have battens on the tip of the kite, and this does reduce fluttering, but that's not all. Like what it also does is, because that batten is there, the way the trailing edge of the kite can shape into the wind, the steering can be improved. So yes, it does prevent or reduce the flutter, but there's a lot more to it. It's not just a flutter break or something. There's a lot more to it than just fluttering. There's a lot more happening in the tape than just steering. It also has to depower. It has to be neutral when you steer to the left. When you steer to the left, the right side has to be neutral, and the other way around. And when you're just cruising, you want to have a very nice sheet and go. So talking about the sheet and go, also the last year's Evo SLS had a lot of feeling and feedback when you had the bar fully powered in, and when you had the bar further out, it depowered really well, but the feeling was kind of a little bit less. This year they've improved it, and that's what also the 6-point bridle system does, is it improves a lot with the sheet and go and with the bar further out. So when you're fully depowered, you can still steer the kite, you can still feel where the kite is and do what you want to do, even when you're riding depowered or overpowered or with your bar further out. Okay, one more thing when you look at the bridle system is that it depends very much per kite, but sometimes the bridle is centered a little bit more towards the center of the kite. If you look at the Evo SLS now, it's quite far towards the tip, and that's because there's a 3-point bridle system just in the tip here, which keeps the tip very stable. So instead of when you're depowered or fully powered, the tip can flex a little bit in or out. This 3-point keeps it very, very safe and very straight. So one of them keeps a lot of the pressure. The other one prevents it from flowing out. The other one prevents from flowing in, to just keep it a very nice and stable tip that can be very neutral when flying and very powered up when you're trying to jump. So just about to go on the water. Same as yesterday, the wind is really light. There's a little bit of waves coming in, but as I imagine, a lot of people would like to see me go on a surfboard. I'll give you guys what you want. So there we go on the Whip D-Lab 5.3. Let's go. Okay, so the conditions are not really on our side. Unfortunately, the wind is really light. There's no waves. Not really suitable conditions. We can go out and ride, but it's not really the feedback that we want to give to you guys. So that's it for now. The Evo SLS in the Concept Blue. In not too long, there's 2 other Evos going to be released. Like I said, the Evo comes in the original SLS and the D-Lab, which is very exciting. So in not too long, we'll have a very good comparison with all 3 of the Evos, going in some real proper conditions, from light wind to strong nuking winds, and we'll give you guys a real detailed feedback. But for the Evo SLS, that's it for now. We'll be back very soon with a much more entertaining video, with some proper action, proper info, and all the details you want. In the meantime, if you have any questions, hit up Kitemana, hit up myself on Instagram, at Lasse. And if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer you. And come to the mega store in Noordwijk, or come to Cape Town, where it's actually much nicer. And enjoy.